you all here. I want to acknowledge my wife, who's hard at work, and Carol Stream. I think it's her 12th year as deputy clerk, following in the footsteps of clerk in Hanover Park as an employee for 24 years. And when I took the dais, Sherry was the clerk, and I said, "Dear, call the roll." It's her favorite line. She knew it was time to move on. Don't call the clerk dear. I learned that the hard way. I'd like to acknowledge Michelle Mussmans, who's here with us today. You lost your voice? No, it's all good. Our fine representatives at least work very close with us. Michelle and Fred Crespo and Christina Castro have really been supportive of Hanover Park. I'd like to acknowledge my trustees, Herb Porter as deputy mayor, Trustee Kunkel is here, Bob Prigge is here, Trustee Bancoli, Gutierrez, and Husani usually show up a little at the after the wire, but I want to acknowledge them also. I'd like to acknowledge our staff. Juliana Mallor has been doing an outstanding job for us. Must be 12 years. How long, Juliana? How many years? You're not counting? She keeps me out of trouble. So we think a lot alike, and it's about the future of Hanover Park, and I'd like to acknowledge that. So I'd like to talk about mayor initiatives, and you know, we're focusing today, and I'd like to quote Daniel Burnham at this time. "Make no little plans. They have no magic to stir men's blood, and probably themselves will not be realized." Well, today we like to recognize not only the men, but the women who come to support us. And our future in Hanover Park, we have many things to have to take care of. Infrastructure, you can see them all on the screens. Water main replacement. Hanover Park's at a point, we are serious about water main, and we're working with, to get approved, an IEPA loan, a water loan. It's a low interest loan, and we're most appreciative of that. Bike paths, seeking grants. Herb and I did a little bike path video. I was really struggling, so Herb kind of took the lead with all the talking. I was struggling because I forgot to put air in the tires. They looked like they were full, but boy, once I got air in them, you know, then I was cruising. So anyway, our public works facility, you know, we have, it was established well before the fire department was a part of our community. So we need to look at some upgrades there, possibly a new building. So our future, when I say looking ahead, the Dan Burnham future, 10 or so many years down the road, we're going to have to start reinvesting in our infrastructure and our facilities. I don't know what that noise was. Keeping our taxes low. We've been blessed with nice support from our legislators for grants. We always put in here our local government distributive fund. We have to get that restored. It's going to take time. It's our fair share of the income tax that goes to the state, and it needs to come back, a fair share come back to us to help us continue to support our community for our infrastructure. Balancing our budget, that's a key component. It's one of the strong reasons that we have been able to, for 8 years, not raise taxes. We asked for the same dollar amount that we have 8 years ago, and I wish all the taxi bodies could figure that one out, but we have some means to do that, a good staff. And our Kids at Hope Health and Resource Fair this year on Saturday, April 27th from 10 to 1 p.m. It's about bringing families together with not-for-profits to demonstrate how they can support their children through the summer. There's many opportunities there. The Park District has been very supportive. to provide us space. The school district has brought in the chairs and the tables, and everybody comes together and puts their arms around the families of Hanover Park, and I've been instrumental in with that. Uh-oh, I did a double kick. I got it back. Moving with the mayor, what that's about, that's a healthy community initiative, and you can see we have a great awareness. I'm supported nicely by the deputy manager, and works with me on that, gets me out a little more physical activity. We want people to be healthy, family-oriented, healthy community. Our support for the Education and WorkNet Center, it's been strong, helping our first-generation families to learn the language, because it's a key component if we can all speak the language and communicate effectively. It's all about communication. And we've found that many moms have started up with the Education and WorkNet Center, and much thanks to Harper and ECC for supporting us for, it's got to be over 10 years. And one of the main reasons we bought that shopping center, because the obstinate mayor said, we got to get this in, and we did. Our EV readiness program, we're going to have to put a little more emphasis on that with an environmental. I discovered recently we were down to 2 people on that committee. So we're trying to, in an environmentally conscious community, to get that committee up and running. And almost immediately I heard from 4 individuals. So that's all good. And Herb, I know your heart is there also. I'll get this right soon. I got to turn a page and push a button. So what you see at the front of the room is a Martin Luther King, Dr. King's, courtesy of Ann Fox School. And what I need to share with you is I'm in the school and I discovered, one of the schools I read every Monday is Ann Fox. And Miss Atwood had her children cut up squares and draw in those squares, and they put it together for the community. And so, Yasmin, good morning. I acknowledge you even though you weren't here, but I knew you'd arrive, and I have all the trustees sitting in front so they can have the first apple throw at me. But I'm really pleased to have brought that with you today. I put it in a frame because I think what's happening at Fox School and at many of our schools, the component of peace and harmony and following a dream. Don't go through life without a dream. Think down the road. There is a dream. And Herb's involved in Black History Month at, it's going to be at Hoffman Estates. We're going to have the event. It's going to be here? Okay, I got notes all over the place. But Herb does a wonderful job on that, and thank you, Herb. But I thought I'd share what's going on at Fox School and how the school is, every day, they're putting together the bridge and they're drawing shoes, and it's quite a nice thing. So I brought it with me so you can see that. I promised to return it. So here I have, now this is going to be the fun part, rail safety and harmony. I'm talking safety. Barrington, they lost a young person. And it's basically stop, look, and listen. And so we invest $1 million. Thank you, Michelle. You were very instrumental with that. And so our concern is how do we help bridge that gap so people do look both directions? And in Barrington, they're really struggling with that, having lost that young lady. So working together in harmony. And what does harmony mean? It means I'm not looking at where you come from, what the color of your skin is. I'm not looking at any of that. I'm looking at how we work together and support our community. We're all about Hanover Park here, and I love the fact that we do work together and we build our initiatives based on harmony and working together with respect to where we came from. Oh, let's see. I did it. Executive summary. So moving forward, strategically, we're following a plan for financial health, economic development, our maintenance of our infrastructure. I don't want to be on the evening news say, oh, we had another broken pipe and we're rubbing our hands together. How are we going to fix it? We are prepared. We've had maybe this winter 20 or more pipe breaks. We get out there, we fix them, we restore them. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud that we can keep our community with the best water in the whole country, Lake Michigan water. Okay, so these are the components moving forward, our financial health. Balanced budget. I'm very proud of our board that believes in a balanced budget moving ahead. We're not a debtor community. We do have a balanced budget. Our property tax levy for the 8th year in a row the levy has gone down. The tax, I think I got that right. One goes down, one goes up, right? The tax rate is going down. We received the GFOA Finance Officers Distinguished Award for 34 years, and our Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for 37 years. Not only does Juliana lead the way for keeping us in touch there, but our fine finance department and all the department heads working together to assure that. Our village tax rate, there it is, I knew it was in there somewhere, continues to drop. But you'll notice our EAV is going up, so the other taxing bodies are significantly moving up with the EAV improvements, which is good for town. I like to know my house is worth more than I bought it for. That's happened. I bought my house in '79, so I've been here a couple of years. Let's see, moving along. The economic development, redevelopment, you can see nearly 40 million in private sector investment. I know it's more. We have under construction across the street 80 townhomes, that's coming in. There's a number of things that are coming forward, some buildings, additional builders just north of here in Hanover Township. The townhomes, those all contribute to our EAV and our economic development. The shopping center sold. I couldn't be happier. I really leaned on everything to buy that so we could bring the Education and WorkNet Center to Hanover Park, working closely with our 2 community colleges. And now the purchaser is pretty excited. He bought it. He actually came from India. He was looking for a place to have his children educated effectively. And so he, his wife, and his 9 children have invested in buying that shopping center. So he told me 5 years he's going to hold the line on education, their costs. So both presidents of the community colleges were excited about that. Our strategic plan accomplishments, I'm falling behind on my turning the pages here. Church and Lake, I just mentioned that. That is going to be modern style units, going to be effective for the community. Gary and Lake, they finally moved in at that large warehouse at Gary and Lake. Following this, I have a ribbon cutting with the, it's got to be here somewhere, Thornton's gas station, and I'm excited about that. I'm working with the Big Chicken, trying to bring them in there. So he's coming to the ribbon cutting. I get Thornton's and him together. He has the franchise for the state of Illinois for Big Chicken. So if I get the Big Chicken, then I know where to go for dinner, right? Get the Big Chicken. The one behind that is a basketball player, Shaquille Shaquille O'Neal. And he's doing very well with that. There's one in Rosemont. I think they're going to open one in Schaumburg. We have the ideal spot in Hanover Park, our hometown. Moving along, we recently had a nice breakfast at Camcraft. Nicely supported us. Many of you were there, and I appreciate that. It was nice recognition for our Hispanic community and sharing workforce development and how we're moving forward. The next page. Our facade improvement program is moving ahead, and I really appreciate the support for all that. Our banks have been helpful and supportive in moving ahead. I also would like to remind everyone that Schaumburg Library has a wonderful, probably top in the state resource for business development. I was just reminded about that. They said, please remember to come to us for that background, and we will do that. I'm a great fan of the library, and I know Schaumburg is probably up there, and it's been very helpful to our neighboring communities. Our safety crossing grant, I mentioned that earlier. I'm very in debt to Michelle Mussman. I always was worried about that crossing. You can see Raja Krishnamurthy, his name's on here. Thoughtful support for our infrastructure with grants, roadway lighting, Crespo, Castro, our Cook County initiative. We have one for sidewalks. I can't believe Center Avenue does not have a sidewalk along it. Brought to my attention by one of our trustees sitting here in front. And we'll get that done, but Cook County has been supportive, and there's an initiative with Mr. Morrison, our commissioner. Our paved streets, many of you have noticed we are paving. We have paved 7.5 miles. My neighborhood is, I've always said, do my street last. Well, it's gotten to the point, my street's got to be next because it's pretty bad. You know, I don't like people saying, oh, the mayor just takes care of his street or his curb or whatever. And I've always deferred with staff, you know, take care of the rest of the community, but it's gotten so bad. Potholes. I hate to replace a street when we have to invest a lot of money in water mains. It's like throwing money away. If you replace a water main on a 3-year-old street, you just threw money away. So you have to, if you're going to do the water mains, that's the time to do the street. And it's a lot of money. We spent a ton of money recently doing streets in this last year. You don't do 7.5 miles of streets and not spend a ton of money and replace some water mains. Public Works has been marvelous about responding to those things. And when I see them out, and it seems to happen more when it's 20 below zero, and I see those guys out there, you know, and the ice is dripping off their nose, and I like to stop and wish them well and give them some encouragement. But Plum Street, sanitary sewer, you know, these things are getting old, so we're replacing that. They need to flow well. I don't want them backing up in your downstairs. Pay-by-play program at the commuter lots, that's a new way of, you can park pretty much wherever you need to. You don't have to be dependent upon a space. And the smart water program for residents, I'm still trying to figure that one out, but it's coming and it'll be explained nicely. I can turn one page and not the other. So maintain and enhance infrastructure. Fire Station 16, state-of-the-art fire station, is going to serve our community in an exceptional manner. I've highlighted the Arlington Drive Bridge Replacement Project. If you drive down Arlington Drive, you'll see there's signs there. no trucks driving over this bridge. It's bad. It's been bad for a number of years. We've had to reduce the weight load limit, and coordinating with the state and everybody else to get a bridge replaced in the middle of a neighborhood. It's not the easiest task, but our Public Works and the staff have been working diligently to get us there. And so I'm really pleased to see that coming along. The Village Hall was constructed in '78, I believe it was. And it's time to do some upgrades here. Maybe a replacement down the road, because the cost-benefit analysis has to be a key component. So I'm looking to the future, like Dan Burnham. I'll tie that back in. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm very pleased with our Hire the Vets program, and thank you very much for that. I think it's a key component. I mentioned it before we started, but I wanted to mention that. We've received a first place award at the Illinois Traffic Safety Challenge, and our police department signed on to the 30-30 pledge. We are progressive in hiring women into our police department, and the women are making a difference. Many of our women in the Muslim community will not permit a man to touch them in any way, shape, or form. So this is really contributing nicely, and Hanover Park is acknowledged for our good work in that area, and I acknowledge our police chiefs. The chief and the two deputies are here. They're doing an exceptional job for us. They don't wake me up at 2 in the morning. They wait till 7 a.m. And previously, when Mike Minot was here, he said the last call at night and the first call in the morning was the mayor. You know, I have a great passion for the great support they provide to our community, and being fair and courteous is not always a part of police duties, but they do a great job, and our leaders here with us today model that. We've reduced crime in Hanover Park as long as every year, Chief comes to me and says, I don't know if we can do it again. Well, we're acknowledged now today for an exceptional, family-oriented, safe community. And thank you to our police department and the staff that we all contribute to that. And my board supports that. When I swear in officers, I acknowledge not only our leadership, but the fact that this board supports our police department in an exceptional manner, and we're making a difference, and we are a model for the future. Our community image and identity, we all own that. Whether it's a trustee calling a department head or the manager and saying, hey, look at these weeds in the middle of the street. Look at this, look at that. Ribbon cutting planning, there's a ribbon cutting planning for the new fire station, May 18th. But we all have to work together. We are one community. It's our community. It's our hometown. It doesn't fall just to the trustees or the staff. I see things, I take a photo and I send them to the right department, and I copy the manager for the most part. But it's building community is our community, and I want to thank everyone who's here who help us do that in an exceptional manner. Exceptional effective governance. We were awarded, oh, we did get it in there. I didn't think it was in there, Barry. So you're getting 3 shots at the clock here. I'm very proud of the fact that there were 3 of us this year in the state of Illinois that hire veterans. Being a veteran myself and having experience with my family leaving the service back in '74 and trying to figure out what's next and where do I go, it was disconcerting. So the fact that we are modeling that, I really appreciate it. And I see what I saw when you come to a new job having left the service. You want to care for your family. You want to show up to work on time. You have the discipline to support what it takes to support the people of Hanover Park effectively. So I'm very much an advocate for that. And our welcoming ordinance, which requires all departments, elected officials, our appointed committee members and commission members to complete a cultural competency, did I get that out right? Training. So we do that across the board because it's important to care for one another, to work in harmony, and to respect where we're headed. And you can tell, I enjoy what I do. I respect our community. I have a great relationship with our legislators, and that I hope will always continue because I have a passion for it. Upcoming special events. Of course, this is Black History Month, and the schools that I go into, they are doing some marvelous things with our multicultural community. I often shock people when I tell them Hanover Park, 37 languages are spoken in Hanover Park. So working together in harmony is a key thing, and acknowledging our history is very important. And Doggy Extravaganza, that was a lot of fun for everyone. I appreciated that. Memorial Day and our one of my words of continuing, but I love it. I love the fact that we have one. We have the flowers out there, so the bees have a way of generating, and the locally generated honey has good support for our system and keeping us healthy. And then Juneteenth, on June 15th, which has always been a great event. Our movies in the park, I love that. Families come out and we have a great display. Our Cops Day Picnic, another movie in the park, very supportive. The residents really appreciate the fact we've got such a diverse, sharing lead, the police and fire departments, they're all there. Our Veterans Day event, and then our tree lighting, which has become quite the thing, and very supportive. So my energy level gets high, and I really move along, and I appreciate everybody being here today. Our libraries and our park district, working together is a key component for the future health of Hanover Park. And thank you all for coming today. And with that, you all get my warm hugs, and the sharing of Martin Luther King out of Fox School, I thought it touched my heart. So thank you all for coming.